episode of the YouTube Power Hour podcast. For this interview, I had the opportunity to sit down with Fabulous 50s Shellea Fowler. That's the name of her channel. Hi, I'm your host, Erika Vieira, and every single week I bring to you a brand new interview with a very successful YouTube creator where we pulled back the curtains and to reveal what it really takes to be successful here on YouTube. Now, with Shellea, she was able to grow her channel over 400,000 subscribers in 1 year. And in this interview, she reveals exactly how she did it, the very unique strategies that she applied for every single one of her videos. You're going to love this. Be prepared to take notes. She shares a lot of details. And make sure you're subscribed because I have a brand new interview every single week. And I want you to comment below. Are you a YouTube creator? And if so, what is your channel about? I'll see you in the interview. Mwah. Well, hello, Shellea. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you very much for having me on, Erika, and hello to you.
Yes, I'm super excited to have you and to just talk about your crazy growth over the last couple of years and dissect that a little bit for our listeners and our viewers. So before we dive into the nitty gritty, why don't you give just like a brief Cliff Notes version of your journey on YouTube so far, plus what inspired you to get onto YouTube in the first place?
Okay, so I started my channel in 2017 in July, and my channel is for women over 50, and it's lifestyle, so fitness, beauty, health, and lifestyle. So yes, I started in July, and my first year, my first 6 months was pretty much nothing happened, and it was very slow growth. And then after that 6 months, I started to see a little bit of growth. And then certainly after a year, I had a lot of growth. So I've just been finding out what the people want and giving it to them, I think that's what I'm doing.
So what made you decide to get onto YouTube? You said July of 2017?
Yes.
Yeah.
I sold a business, and I've been in business with my husband since I was 21. And we've been doing business for the past 35 years. And I sold the business and retired at 49. And we were kind of living the life and enjoying everything that we'd worked so hard to get. And we did all the things we wanted to do. And then I got really, really bored. And my 3 sons left home. They went to the city. And I kind of was thinking about how I can do what I do with people in real life. How can I do it to more people? Not do it. How can I influence, I guess, more people share? And then I started my channel in a very sort of subtle way. I started it, but didn't really want anyone to see it because I had fear, a lot of fear with putting myself out there. And that's how it grew.
So what was it that you were doing offline that you kind of brought over?
Well, I'm a stylist, so I was doing that. My husband and I were doing business coaching and mentorship. So we were doing that together, and I was doing other elements of that by myself. And I just thought there's something about, I guess, how I'm presenting things to people that help them unlock something that's going on inside of them. And that's what I loved doing more than anything. And that's what I brought all of those elements into what I wanted to present to YouTube.
Awesome. And so you said when you first got onto YouTube, did you specifically decide you were going to do a channel for women over 50? Yes, that was the thing, because I noticed, all the stages in my life, the 45 journey from 45 to 50, a lot of changes happen and life's very different. I thought anyway. So the women who are in that age group and beyond have different needs and wants and experiences to the years before. So I thought, well, I'm just going to focus on that. And I was my styling business was for women over 40. So it just kind of there's a gap. There was a gap, I thought, and that's who I wanted to talk to. I wanted to talk to women over 50. Did you have any hesitations at all in kind of targeting that group of people on YouTube?
Yes. Yes, I did. Because my age group is not particularly on social media, or they certainly weren't. You know, there's a few, but there's not a huge amount. Plus, I thought, well, there's not going to be many people out there who will listen in, but that's okay because that's who I want to talk to. And I just, so I thought, well, it's pretty risky. Just choosing women over 50. And of course I get lots of women who are younger watching in, and I spend a lot of my time with young women, just hanging out with them and talking to them as well. So the information is for everybody, but I'm just talking to that woman.
I have to say that, you know, I'm in my 30s, but I like watching women like you because I look at you and I'm like, oh my gosh, you look amazing. How old are you? You're 50 or
53?
Yeah, I'm like, oh my God, if I could look like that at 53, I'll be very happy, you know? So I look like, I mean, a lot of ways for me, I like to watch women my own age, some younger, but I do like to watch some women older because it's like, okay, what should I be doing now so I can look like Shellea when I'm 53? I'm sure you get a lot of those also, right?
Thank you. I think when you're younger, it's how you can feel when you're older is the kicker, because it's feeling solid in here and whole that stops you from going crazy, and you know, and then you can appreciate what you have rather than always wanting more.
Yeah, definitely.
So I think that's, you know, for your age group and the younger women. Yeah, that you may not know that yet.
Yeah, it's true. You want to always feel youthful, feel young, feel like you can do things and accomplish things, and you have the health and vitality to do all that. Exactly.
Because if you burn yourself out when you're your age, which I probably did, you lose health. And when you've lost your health, you can't do all these giant dreams that you have. You can't complete them because you're managing your health.
Yeah,
and
that's true.
That's what happened to me. So we want to achieve so much, and I think that can be a detriment. But again, I did feel like I did achieve a lot, and I'm great today. But there's a lot of steps that I had to take to be able to enjoy it.
Do you talk about that on your channel?
I haven't really talked about that, but I will talk about that because I think it's important. It's an important message.
I think so too. Let's go back to let me see. I'm pulling it up for those of you guys that are watching. I'm going to pull up her channel. Okay, so 2 years ago, that's not that long ago that you uploaded your first video. Your first video, did you private any videos, or are these your actual first videos?
Yeah, they would be my first videos. No, I haven't changed any of that.
Okay, so you said, what is fabulous 50s, style tips over 50s, girl talk about growing older, millennials versus baby boomers, perfect dewy skin over 50. Okay, so at what point when you started uploading these videos 2 years ago, did you say, oh, I think people are watching? Because you said the first 6 months was kind of slow. What was that turning point for you?
So slow. The turning point for me was definitely when I felt comfortable with what I was doing. And I think that was after 6 months because, you know, as I said, I didn't want anyone to really see them. I kind of wanted people to watch them, but then I thought, well, if people watch them, then that means, they're going to see me. Yeah. So it was this whole weird thing going on within me. But I made a video about toned arms. And whatever was in that one, that's when I've got my first suggested videos. The algorithm started suggesting me to people. So people were watching that and then subscribing. Yeah. And that made a difference. Nothing had happened, and then that was a year ago, and then people watched it, subscribed, and they started watching my other videos that I had, and then those numbers started to go up, and that's how it started for me.
Got it. So before that tone arms video that kind of took off, what was your schedule like? Were you pretty committed to YouTube? Were you like uploading?
I was very committed.
Oh, you were? Okay.
Yeah, I was committed to it, and I was taking courses in how to have a YouTube channel. So I knew from the beginning that consistency was the key. And, you know, I'd also been told that you've got to put out 2 or 3 or 4 videos a week. And I decided that I didn't want to do that because I needed to keep even keeled, and I needed to have my mental health in check, because if the pressure was that much of having, and I wanted to have quality that I'd, put a lot of effort into, rather than a whole lot of just, I've got to put this out, so I'm just going to do it. So I just made that decision, and I've done 1 video a week every week.
I think those are good instincts, because I tell my students, my clients that I work with for YouTube, exactly that, because I know that the advice, and then the advice that I give is actually can be quite different than what's out there, but I found it works. But that advice for being consistent and uploading 2, 3, 4 times a week, it's good in a sense if you have a team, if you're doing this full time, if you have an editor. Like, I understand that advice, but I'm very sensitive to people like yourself, people that are just starting. I mean, you were doing this, and it sounded like you didn't have another job or anything, but a lot of the women that start, that I work with, they're students, they're moms, they have stuff going on. And I think that advice of 2 to 3 times a week actually is not good advice, because that's what you said is exactly what happens, is that quality suffers and people get burnt out and they get discouraged.
Yes, so you're not feeling good internally, and you show up in front of the camera and you're,
Charisma,
kind of pretending.
Yeah, your magnetism's gone.
So, and people pick up on that, and I think our job is to offer something educational, something entertaining. So unless it's going to be quality, just don't need to do it, because then we're wasting people's time, of their watching time.
And your own time. I would say there's no point in consistently creating crap.
That's right.
Yeah.
And your own time is important. If you're working all day, every day, which most YouTubers are, whether they have a job or they're working on their channel, this is a full-time gig, and there's a lot to do. So you have to know that before you decide to continue on with it. Otherwise, you can't keep it up. You can't maintain it.
No, it's a lot of work, and it's like,
it's huge.
It's a lot of work, and you can't sugar. Like, I never say, oh, well, YouTube is super easy. Just like upload like 2 or 3 times a week, and like be consistent with that, and you'll be fine. And it's not like that. No.
Like it's something like TikTok or something like that. That's completely different. Or Instagram, doing Instagram sort of videos. It's a whole different game. This has to be well thought out and prepared, and edited, and time spent saying the right thing, and preparing it in a way that the audience is going to understand it as well.
Marketing it. It all comes down to marketing, how you're packaging and marketing your videos.
Yeah.
So so you got started, and you're like, you know what, I'm going to be consistent, but this is what works for me. I'm going to do it once a week.
Yep.
And then about 6 months or 8 months later, that, or even sounds like 8 to 9 months later, that arms video took off.
Yeah, that came out.
So what kept you going that whole time when you said your videos were just not doing that well, or just doing okay?
What kept me going was I just wanted to talk to the women. I had this desire to sort of offer myself as an example, maybe for someone to feel better about themselves, or to feel like that they've got a lot more life left to live. That's just why I kept doing it, because, and there was many times that I did want to stop, because I'm sitting between, I've experienced what it's like to have a retired life, and then do I want to go here? Do I want to do all this again, or do I want to just chill out? So there's a lot of that going on.
No, definitely. I can understand that. And so, okay, you had that video that took off. So take us back to that day when you uploaded that video, and then what happened when you started seeing the numbers and the subscribers come in.
It didn't happen straight away. It happened, I definitely got a lot more views and subscribers in that first week. But then it was like, whoa, like what just happened? And it's kind of shocking. to experience. And then after that, other videos have come along that have done the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's good. It feels good, but you have to be super careful not to get caught up in the dopamine hit, because if you do that, it's you're showing it.
Yeah, there it is. That's you.
Yeah.
Trying to get it in there. There.
Yeah. And when I did this video, I hadn't watched a YouTube video on fitness before.
Oh.
So I didn't really know how to package it in a way, like I do them a lot differently now. That was just me saying, just me being me, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And, it wasn't a workout. I was just showing them how to do the exercises.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I didn't know anything about what I was doing back then. And you learn and you change things to suit what the audience wants.
Mm-hmm. That's interesting. So you said you had never watched a YouTube fitness video.
No, I hadn't watched them to work out how you package it and how you do it so that they can stand with you and do the workout. I just show them, here's some exercises and like do 10 of those. And then, when I look back, I think, wow, that I don't know why that did so well, because I wasn't actually doing it the way that was easy to understand.
Well, I mean,
it was just me.
Yeah, and a toned arm workout for women over 50. I think this area right here is like the one, the arm one is like the one that all women always like at all ages are like trying to figure that out. So, maybe it's just the title that did it. And in the video, I watched the video too, and I was like, okay, it drew me in. And because it wasn't just like a workout, you talked about different things about that area and all that.
And I think with that one, I spoke about how, I had flabby arms, and I kind of got personal with that. And my son came in and he was teasing me about it. So that was actually what happened. So I think, I don't know. Yeah.
That's nice. And so now it has 2 million views. So at the time, you said it took a little while to start taking off.
Yes, and then I started seeing growth in my channel because all the other videos were being watched. So ones that had only had a little bit of airtime started to get suggested. So once the algorithm picked up that one, others started getting suggested. And then that's what helped with the growth.
Mm-hmm. So what happened with the next video that you uploaded? Did you see like a boost right away? Like
once that was, again, it's the algorithm. Once that's out there, well, then they tend to show, it tends to show other videos as well. So, but that comes and goes. Sometimes you'll have a great numbers on a video, and then the next one you put out will get nothing. That's why you can't get caught up in the numbers to validate who you are or to validate your channel, because it sends you crazy. And you become obsessed with it. And when you're obsessed with that, you're not present with your real life, your actual life, and the people around you and your children and your family.
Yeah, and not to mention even your audience.
And your audience, of course. Yeah. And if each video that you do, this is what I would say to someone, make it so that you were presenting it to the CEO of a company who you were would like to work for. Or, if your board of directors was watching your every move, are you in integrity? If they saw what you were doing, would you be doing enough? So whether you get the views and the algorithm puts you out there, whether that happens or not, did I do what I needed to do for that board of directors or for that CEO who was working with me?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's so interesting. And so after that, that video now has 2 million views. And then you're at how much today? I think you're at like, how many subscribers?
520 something.
Okay, so you're
23?
Like 500,000. You grew 500,000 in 2 years, basically.
So like last year on this day, I had 93,000 subscribers.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So even so the first year, you grew maybe like 100, almost 100, right? And then, or less than that for the first year. And then the second year is like when things went crazy. Like that's a lot of growth.
Yeah, that's good growth. Particularly, I would say in my for my market, who are older people, because we didn't grow up with the internet. We're not that particularly used to going to it for a day-to-day experience, like, you know, all the young people are. So the women that are there, and yeah, so it's not a usual sort of market segment to grow like that.
Yeah. So why do you think your channel has done so well in the last year?
To be honest with you, I have no idea. Well, I'm not here to make money. I don't do sponsored videos. I haven't done any collabs or anything like that. I'm just here to share. Maybe that's why, because I don't feel like I have to say anything. I'm not required to put a certain video out. No one's telling me how to curate this channel. Maybe that's it. I don't know. I don't know.
I would say, if I could give my opinion, in looking at your channel, like my thoughts were that you have a really good insight into what women over 50 like are struggling with and what they want. And you embody, in my opinion, you embody somebody that's inspirational, that's like wanting to achieve that as well. But you have, in a way, so you have a lot to share and teach, but you're also kind of going through it as well. So you're sharing that, and you're also sharing, you know, a level of expertise in this area. That's just kind of what I thought when I briefly like checked out your channel and was watching your videos.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, because I found it interesting because, yes, your niche is over 50, but you do all, like, let me pull up your channel again. You do all different kinds of videos. Like, it's not just makeup or beauty or fitness. Like, you really, it's almost as if, like, every single thing, like, you're targeting is, like, a very specific thing. Regardless of, like, the niche. So it's, like, thicker hair, the slimming style tip, casual outfit ideas, but still looking young, and just different things that women are thinking about in that age group.
Yeah, I'm trying to provide, you know, I'm reading the comments and I'm listening to what people want to hear about. And I'm, you know, so I'm making my videos randomly, I guess, based on what's going to benefit a woman over 50.
Like this, like knee pain, 5-minute knee strengthening routine to fix knee pain. 222,000. 223,000 subscribe views, you know, from 2 months ago. That's something that I think a lot of women that are over 50 deal with, you know.
Yeah, a lot of young women deal with that too, if we're training a lot.
That's true. And just, and this too, like how to grow your hair long, thick, and healthy over 50. Just, I don't know. I think you've done a really good job of like figuring that out. And like you said, is it from, are you out there kind of studying things, or is it really just from like, how are you coming up with these video ideas?
I spend a lot of time in my comments answering comments. So I'm hearing what people want, and I'm studying all the time. So I read a lot, and I'll find someone who knows something leading edge, and then you go down the rabbit hole. And so I'm always looking for new ways and new things to present that maybe my audience isn't aware of, or maybe they haven't looked into to something that and my radar's always out on, you know, anything that's going to help a woman over 50 look better, feel better, you know, be healthier. So and then I'll research it, or I'll read about it, and then I'll present it.
I thought it was really interesting because you did a video on something that I had started doing, and then I had heard it, and I hadn't seen really anybody do YouTube videos on it. Doesn't mean they're not out there, because I hadn't searched it, but it was the Dr. Rhonda Patrick that was who was on the Joe Rogan podcast, and I had listened to her, and she talks about the broccoli sprouts, and And after watching your video, and let me see if I can find it or pull it up. I'm totally buying the kit to make it myself because I hadn't really seen anybody make it themselves. So I'd just been buying it at my local kind of health food store, the broccoli sprouts.
Very expensive.
It is expensive, so that's why I don't eat it every day. But I'll kind of like, I'll treat myself and I'll buy it, every couple of weeks. I think this one. Oh, let me show it. And honestly, I didn't know that's what it was even about, but your thumbnail and title got me in, and it was this one, number one food over 50. Number one food over 50. I was like, what's the number one food over 50? It's got to be good in your 30s too, you know? Look younger by eating this food every day. I'm like, click. So then, and this is one of your top videos. And so I was wow, yeah, she does the broccoli sprouts. Like, I know Dr. Rhonda Patrick is all about it. And although my business is YouTube and working with YouTubers, like another part of me is like super into health and like biohacking and all these types of things. And all that. And so I thought that was really interesting. I was like, wow, she's really like in tune to what's going on.
Like Joe Rogan, I love watching his podcast because he introduces me to people that I didn't know existed. People, I
agree. Yeah.
And then you go down the rabbit hole and like Dr. Rhonda Patrick, how amazing is she?
Amazing? Yeah, she really is. Like I listen, sometimes her podcast gets a little dense and I'm like, okay, I'm done.
It's dense.
Yeah, it's really dense.
I wanted to make her dense podcast easy for people to understand who are sciencey.
Yeah.
So I watch her over and over and listen and I think, how on earth does she remember all those words? Just
she's
off the
top
of her head.
Yeah.
She's a genius.
Yeah.
But so podcasts like that, Joe Rogan or Impact Theory, these guys are following the leading edge. So if we follow them, we can know more than we did. And that's what and there's a huge focus on longevity. Yeah. And that's what they're studying and that's what people are writing about and that's where money's going into research. So I just love learning about that. And then I try and integrate all those learnings that I've had into my videos, whether they're about that topic or whether, a little bit of that applies to a little bit of this and, everything applies to each other. And then I try and deliver it in a way that someone will go, wow, that's good. That would make sense if I did that. Yeah.
And I think there's two like really, really good lessons there. Like I think the first is the way you presented it. So it's like you didn't create a video on how to make broccoli sprouts at home. Like, you know what I'm saying? Or broccoli sprouts for health and longevity. Like you didn't even mention broccoli sprouts in the title or the thumbnail. You have an interesting picture. Like, what is that? It almost looks like a sponge.
Yeah.
But you put it, you just hit them on the side of the head. Number one food over 50. Like, what was I'm kind of curious about your thought process because I think that's really, really smart. And I think it's a very good lesson because I think where a lot of people get things wrong is they have really good information, but it's not presented in a way that's going to make people want to click. And that's the game of YouTube, unfortunately. Love it or hate it.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. The game of YouTube is you've got to get people to click. So take me behind kind of your thought process when you're coming up with these type of titles and thumbnails, specifically this one because I think it's really smart.
Well, I thought with that particular one, I had heard Rhonda say like this is an anti-aging food. This is the best food. She went into the science about why it was so good and how it was helping with the aging process. So I thought, well, she's saying it's the number one anti-aging food, so I respect her like my level is 10.
Yeah.
So I can't fault anything she's saying. So I'm going to go with that because if I heard that, I'd certainly be wanting to try it. And unfortunately, because her delivery is so sort of precise and sciencey, it's going to
alienate some people.
Be shown to so many people because it takes a long time to listen to all that, understand it, rewind it, go back and listen. It takes a long time. So her message isn't getting out there to a lot of people who would really benefit from hearing it. So that's where I think I can bring those little nuggets into my videos because it's done in a, hey, let's do something nice for ourselves. Let's integrate all those little bits and pieces that I've learnt
Yeah.
because it's really good
Really
information.
good stuff. Yeah. So that's why I said there are two really good lessons, right? The first one is how you presented it. But the second one is that you are, and I always say this too to my students and my clients, and I say it is your responsibility as, say, an influencer. If you're going to have this role, like out there on YouTube, as you, as like, you know, someone over 50, an authority to living your best life over 50, in a way, it's your responsibility to be on the up and up of what's going on. Like, you can't be lazy and just look at what other people are doing and just be like, well, this person did that video, I'm going to do it. Like, if you're going to truly be an authority and a thought leader, then you need to be out there, like, really knowing what's going on.
Exactly. So that's a lot of my time is spent finding out what's new and what people are talking about, and then learning about it, and then integrating it into my life and then sharing it. So that's kind of what I like to do. And that can be applied to beauty. It can be applied to exercise. It can be applied to mindset. You know, I think now more than ever, these things are available to everybody. Like when I was, 10 years ago, or 20 years ago when I was your age, we had to go to a library to find out anything. And that was the only way we could get information. But now we can find out everything that exists. We can find out more about it, and from a whole lot of different sources, not just the one source.
Which is incredible.
Oh, incredible.
Yeah, it is. So do you pay attention to keywords and SEO when you're putting together or thinking about your video topics?
No, I should. I pay attention to my title and my thumbnails, but I don't look at what's trending or what other people are doing. I deliver just what comes to me or what people have asked me to deliver. That's probably not very smart, and I probably should manage that a little bit better.
I don't know. Your growth is pretty amazing. If it's not broke, don't fix it.
Yeah.
Something's working. But when you say you focus on your titles, what do you mean by that?
Well, I try and curate the title so people will actually be interested enough to find out what the video is about, because it doesn't matter how good your content is. If they're not interested in what your title is and they don't feel it's relevant to them, no one will click it.
Yeah, I think you have some really good, let me zoom out of that. I think you have some really good titles. I mean, here are your top videos. 5 biggest makeup mistakes on mature eyes, toned arm workout for women over 50, how to hide belly fat and clothes to hide a tummy, styling tips every woman needs to know. So yeah, you're really focusing on getting that click, which is really important. Like what, do you have any tips for people when they're trying to create clickable titles?
Think about it in terms of if I was reading that title, would I be urged to click it? Because we've got to think about, as creators, what do people don't really care about you. They want to know what you can teach them or what you can share with them or how you can make them feel. So I think that's the best way to think about that. Put yourself as the consumer of that video content, and then just ask yourself, would you click that? Would I click that?
That's so true. And do you pay attention to your analytics?
Yes, I do. My husband helps me with that because I'm a creative and he's an analytical person. So yeah, he goes through all that and keeps an eye on it.
So are you saying that you're paying attention to your percentage viewed and the watch time and all that?
Yes. Yeah, I paid a lot more attention to that when I was learning how to do it. Because if they're dropping off, go back and listen to what you've said and why they dropped off. And that could be a long intro. It could be boring blah, blah, blah about yourself. Because, again, they're not here for you. They're here for what you can give them. So you've got to go straight into what you can give them.
Yeah.
In including your personality and not too dry, because like Dr. Rhonda Patrick, hello, I'm Dr. Rhonda Patrick, and then this massive science. So you've got to find what suits your audience, because, you can't imagine if she went on and was just chatty, it would be a different channel.
Yeah, definitely.
So you got to find who your audience is, and if they're not going to appreciate, if they're there to find out something, just tell them that, give them that.
Yeah, especially when you're starting out.
Yes, I was at a conference a couple of weeks ago, and the speaker was up there speaking, and there's the thought between the thought, and I thought to myself, I'm just going to fast forward this. Because we've been led to have this fast pace of attention. Mm-hmm. And, if something's on and you don't want to watch that bit, you can fast forward it. So for me, it was an awareness of, I kind of live in this world where I can fast forward everything. I can 1.5 speed it, or I can move to something new. And when I was listening to someone in real life, it was like, we didn't need that bit. You didn't need to say that bit because I fell asleep there.
Yeah.
So that was good for me to apply to my videos, because if people have changed, people's habits have changed as far as their attention span goes, we've got to jump on board and understand that. Mm-hmm. And those bits that get boring, like I felt with that guy, he was very interesting, but that bit was boring. I just wanted to get rid of that bit, move to the part that I wanted to hear.
Part. Yeah.
Give me the juicy part. Don't that was really
kill me with the rest
good
of it.
For me.
Yeah.
You're killing me.
Yeah. So when you're looking at the numbers, or maybe you said your husband's looking at it, are there certain things that you're looking to hit? Like, are there certain percentage of the video viewed or watch time? Or there's certain metrics where you're like, and same thing even with your thumbnails, the click-through rate, are there certain numbers where you feel like, okay, that's good?
Yeah. If the thumbnail is not getting clicked, I absolutely go in and try something else. So if it's kind of below 4% or 5%, I'll snap in and change it, and Yep. So
after how long? How many do you wait a few days, a week?
24 hours.
Okay, so
if it's getting very low, there's a couple of reasons for that. Because the videos go out to your subscribers first, so that will tell me that my subscribers are not interested in that topic at all. If I've changed the thumbnail and I'm still not getting a click-through rate, so that gives me an indication of, don't worry about doing those sorts of videos, because they just don't. That's not on their radar. They don't care about that. So I think you've got to be so if people aren't clicking, you've got to ask yourself, do they want to hear it? And quite often the click-through rate will go up if you change the thumbnail.
Do you have an example of a recent video? Do you remember where you did that? I can kind of pull it up too if you want.
Yeah, I did one. I haven't got my computer in front of me.
Here, right?
But
you can look
if
here.
You scroll down, you can see the bottom line. Yeah, with the cross and the tick on it.
Oh, that one.
Styling tips for every. Yep. So that one, for example, I had a different thumbnail on that.
Okay.
And I was getting really great comments from the video, and people were loving the different kind of content that I was providing on that video. So comments were great, but the click-through rate wasn't high. Then I changed it to that, and the click-through rate went up a lot.
And the views are a lot. You're at 784,000 views.
Yeah.
From 5 months ago.
Yes. So that video that I did, I was showing different styles on that body type and cutting it out with the scissors and just doing something different so people at home could know how to do it themselves. So changing the title. I do notice the watch time as well. When your videos get suggested, if the watch time is up and the shares are up and the likes are up, that's something I notice a lot.
Yeah, definitely. And so for this one, do you remember so for those of you listening, it's the title right now is Styling Tips Every Woman Needs to Know. And then you say tops. And then on one side it's pink, one side is blue, and it's like a check mark and an X, and you show, kind of like a yes and no slimming tops. Do you remember what you had before?
I had the left photo and then a photo of me. And it was a screenshot from my camera, from my video. You
talking and or whatever?
It was, just me sort of showing her body. And that's what it was. So I went into the cutout and a transparent background, and then I did that because that kind of represents the video a bit better. This is what she looked like before, and this is what she looks like with a deep V for her body shape. That's the difference. So visually, people were able to see if you've got this kind of body shape and you lengthen it with a long neckline, it changes everything.
Yeah, because you're showing like the transformation, the before and after, and it's just crazy to think the difference that a good thumbnail and title can make. Like this video could have flopped for you and gotten, you know, less than 40,000 views or 30. I don't know what's like a flop video for you, but like could have gotten, you know, way less. And now by changing it, it's at almost 800,000 views. Yeah.
So that's just watching the click-through rate in the analytics.
Yeah, it's pretty great. There's a lot of analytics. And so it sounds like so are you still in that schedule of one video a week?
Yes.
You are. Okay. So you've been really consistent with that. And so it sounds like you really do pay attention. Like after you upload, like you're paying attention to your numbers like a day later and looking and seeing what's going on.
A day later. Yes. And I go to, for me, I load it at 9 p.m. on a Friday night here in Australia. So I kind of go to bed and then I wake up the next morning and then I can
see what's going on.
I can do all that. See what's going on. Answer some comments and, you know, just have a look. And I look at the tags to see, you know, where they've been ranked. And, you know, maybe I might tweak a little bit of my description or depending on what I think needs to be amended.
Yeah, and you end up learning a lot when you do that, you know, because if you're going in there making little tweaks and you're like, okay, that worked. How often are you changing things? Like for your videos, is that every single video you changed something in the tags or the title, or how often are you changing?
Well, I don't change every thumbnail, but I do change. I tweak probably everything the next day a little bit.
Even if the video is doing well?
If the video is doing super well, no.
Yeah, you don't touch it.
Because then that's the formula and that works. So you just leave that and you don't, if it's not broken, you don't touch it. And also I might go in, like I go through, when I have time, I might go through my older videos and just have a look. If nothing's got a green on it from the back end, like the TubeBuddy numbers that have ranked, I'll go, oh, so I haven't looked at this for a while. Let me go and have a look at what I could change here. So I do sometimes change my older videos and tweak them a little bit, add different tags. But I have been told and learnt that the tags aren't important, but I think they are.
Okay.
I think they make a difference. Like if something's doing well, everything's lit up in green. And if something dives, nothing's showing.
You mean the tags that TubeBuddy shows like are ranked or something?
Yeah. Do you find that with your videos?
Well, I mean, for my clients' videos, yeah. When I look at the back end, I do find that the videos that are doing well, for the most part, like, and their tags are aligned. Like, that's the thing too with tags.
Yeah.
Like, some people's tags are like all over the place, and it's, in a way, in essence, what it's doing, that's confusing YouTube, because YouTube ultimately doesn't really know what the video is about. Yeah. So you have to be
that's true.
You have to be really succinct with what you have in your tags. But yeah, whenever like one of my clients' videos is like taking off and I'm taking a look at it and I'm like really tracking it, for the most part, there's multiple tags in there that are ranked. And like maybe we can even show it so people know what we're talking about. If you don't use something like TubeBuddy. I mean, I think a lot of my listeners and viewers know. I mean, I've had TubeBuddy comes into my they come into my boot camps and they teach things.
TubeBuddy's great, and the free version is amazing if you're just getting started.
Today for
just need to learn how to use it.
Oh, do you know what? It's not popping up because I think I have too many. When it happens when I have too many windows open. Yeah, the thing doesn't. I have to like go back and do it, so it's not popping up right now. But I mean that's a nice feature and it's a free feature, and you can see what where your tags are. You can see where your tags are ranking, and so
I think it's helpful when you for me or for anybody, and it's free, so definitely get on board with that.
So you're finding that tags makes a difference.
I think so, even though I've been told by everybody that they don't worry about them, they don't make a difference. I still put time into them, because that's what I started doing. Then apparently it changed and it didn't mean anything anymore, but I think it does.
Yeah,
so, I don't know.
So what do you do like to improve your tags? Like what are some of your kind of little tips there?
Well, TubeBuddy suggests tags, so I will try a whole lot of those. And when you click on a suggested tag, if it's going to rank, it'll automatically turn green. So then you know, okay, well that's, and you can also through that system, you can find out what people are searching for in relation to you or in relation to that topic. Because I'll look in my tags and suggestions are fabulous 50s arms or fabulous 50s makeup or something like that.
The suggestions are really helpful.
Yeah, they're really helpful because you think, oh, well, people are actually, because they're an indication of what people are typing in to their search. So all that data is collected and it ends up in your little box for your individual video. So it's pretty cool.
So like earlier you said you don't really pay attention to SEO. I'm thinking you don't really pay attention to SEO when it comes to like you coming up with a video topic, but once you come up with it, then do you kind of refine it using something like TubeBuddy? Yes, I do. I refine it. I don't look out there, what can I do that's trending? But once I decide on what I want to do, then I'll go through and do all of that. Yeah. I think that's smart. That's kind of actually what I do with my clients too. That process. I mean, I think it's important to look at trends too, to an extent. But like honestly, it's like if you are that in tuned with your audience and you know exactly what they want, like you're like hitting slam dunk after slam dunk with your videos, and like that's already tuned in for you. Like you've already got that. Like you've already you don't need to really look elsewhere because you're kind of are in a way, because like you're doing things like listening to podcasts and you're like really in tune with the industry, you know?
I think I'm in tune, and I think for my age group, the trending videos don't really apply
That's
to
true
me,
too.
you know, because the things that are trending are predominantly for younger people. So, you know, I'm not going to make a crazy video like the kids are making. It's not going to apply to my audience.
Yeah, making slime or something, or like the latest beauty guru drama, like
eating hamburgers in a car. I'm not going to do that.
You're like, no. I know. Exactly. It's true. It's
Mukbang.
true.
What is it?
Mukbang. Yeah, or like I know I pronounced it wrong, so it's like I'm not even going to try. So those are really popular.
I don't get that.
I don't either. I don't, but I know a lot of people love it. I don't even know it's still popular. I know that it had its moment, but that was a thing.
That's a thing.
Some of my students were doing it and getting like crazy views, and it's like,
that's great.
It works for them.
Go for it.
They're in their 20s, and it works.
Well, that's right, because that's what their audience want to see. You've got to find out what your audience are interested in, and if that's what's trending, well, then you do your version of that, because that's a great idea.
Yeah. Okay, so we're at the end of the interview, and I do what's called the YouTube Power Hour segment, and basically it's or the Power Hour segment. Basically, it's just a few quick questions that I ask everybody that's come on the show. So, what would you do differently if you were to start your YouTube channel today?
I think I wouldn't be as fearful.
As what?
Fearful. I would have gone into it with a freer spirit, I think, instead of being all closed up and scared of what people would think.
I think fear is a huge thing that holds people back. It's really, really big.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So how did you get over that fear?
Doing lots and lots of practice and understanding that what I was feeling was all about how I was, because you fear when you start a channel, well, what are people going to say? And the comments, you know, can be terrifying if you think you're going to get bad comments. So I think I reconciled within myself that whatever the comments I was getting was about the person who was giving the comment. You know, some people give just such beautiful comments and that's about them. And the people who give cruel comments, that's about them. You're just the one who's receiving it. So if you get a gift that you don't like, you just send it right back to them.
So when you said, you know, lots of practice, what do you mean by that? Like just more uploading more videos?
Just filming, and if it's horrible, get rid of it. Film again. Horrible, get rid of it. And I was talking to a lady the other day who's starting a YouTube channel, and I said, get your phone out and practice talking into it, because you've got to hear the sound of your voice, because it sounds really strange at the beginning. And when you're looking into a mirror where you put your makeup on, you look different on camera for some reason. And so it's getting comfortable with you being on the camera. I think that's anyone who's starting out, just do lots and lots of practice on your phone so that you can delete it, start again. And then when you're ready, just put it out there.
Yeah. So what is the best decision that you made with your YouTube channel?
I think I made a decision not to do any sponsorships or collabs I'm still not doing them, because I wanted to build a trust factor first. I wanted to build, a reliance on what I was saying was actually what I was saying. So I think potentially that's one of the reasons I've grown quickly, because I just decided that I didn't want to do that, and I just stuck to that. And I'm happy with that decision.
Are you going to continue on with that, like not having any sponsorships?
No. I'm open. I just haven't found the right fit, and I get offered a lot of sponsorships. But I think I'm just going to curate it into being something that I just really believe in, and that I really think is going to benefit the people who are watching.
Yeah.
And I don't think there's anything wrong with it at all. I think it's an amazing opportunity for YouTubers. I just didn't need to be in that place, because I've had my career, and I've built my life to how I want it. So I didn't need to do that, which I was fortunate for that. So I didn't need that. But this is a business, and this is a way of creating income, and it's fantastic. So I applaud everybody for doing whatever they doing because it's hard work, and to do all this for free is insane.
It's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work, and I don't think the viewer understands how much work it is.
Yeah.
Because I certainly didn't. I don't think any of us would start if we knew how much work it was.
Yeah, a lot of people think like, oh yeah, you just put on a camera and you shoot.
Oh,
and
yeah.
It's like, oh my gosh, it's so much more than that. Do you outsource anything? Do you do your own editing and all that?
I do my own editing. My husband helps me, but it's at the stage where it's way too much. The YouTube and the social media and the blog and all of that. So yeah, I'm starting to build a team. I'm looking to build a team. I haven't got one yet.
Yeah.
My husband helps me a lot though.
That's nice. What is the best opportunity you've received as a result of your YouTube channel?
The biggest opportunity is this platform's given me a voice, and I can talk to women all over the world and kind of have an impact. So like that is a massive opportunity that I could never have even dreamed of, a couple of years ago, to think that, I could talk to people through YouTube and through emails and social media.
Yeah.
So like, I think that's an underestimated opportunity that all of us, can really think about.
Yeah.
It can just happen like that.
I mean, for you, it happened in 2 years. I mean, you have 500,000 subscribers in 2 years. I mean, that's amazing. What is your YouTube superpower? Meaning, what is it about you that comes naturally that has contributed to your success on YouTube?
I kind of get women. I understand, and I understand all that emotional stuff that we have, and how we just want to feel good about ourselves. Yeah. I kind of get that, and I get that it doesn't matter how successful you are, or how beautiful you are, or how poor you are, or how unattractive you feel. We're all the same.
We're all humans.
All of us. We're all feeling the same thing and the same insecurities. I think I get that.
Yeah, that's great. That's amazing. Well, Shellea, thank you so much for coming on. I've found just speaking with you is just great, and you just have so much insight, and your growth has been incredible. And so I know that the ladies and men, I have some men out there too who are listening and watching this, really going to get a lot out of it. So where can people find you if they're not familiar with you and your channel?
I'm on Fabulous 50s on YouTube, fabulous50s.co on my website, and fabulous.50s on Instagram, I think. Yeah, on Instagram.
Okay,
So
awesome.
yeah, and thank you to you. I mean, you're doing an amazing job at help. This is such a valuable resource. I didn't know this podcast was there because I wasn't really looking for it. But this is amazing for people who are doing YouTube channels and for people starting out, because you don't know what you don't know. So you're asking the questions that give the answers to a lot of people who don't know where to get that information. So you've done a great job
Thank
in
you.
getting this. Yeah.
Thank you so much. I appreciate
Good for you.
that. Thank you.
Yeah.
So for those of you guys listening or watching, comment below on the video here. What did you get out of this episode? I mean, Shellea shared a lot of really awesome tidbits and insights about how she picks her video topics, her titles, her tags, her thumbnails, all those things. What is it that you got away? Share with us. Let us know. And I can't wait to see what you guys say. Thank you so much, Shellea.
Thank you. Okay.
Bye.